This video is for Chapter 3, Web-Based Tools and Applications. The educational podcast that I listened to / watched was Alexander Testeros. It was Conception to Birth. Just happened to fall on the same week we had this assignment. I had to watch a TED Talk / listen to the podcast for a different class. So it worked out perfect. In this video, it was kind of cool to have like real classroom meet this class and potentially what would be happening if I was teaching. In the video, it was Conception to Birth, and he talks about how this technology called the MRI was basically kind of found by accident that it could do this. It was more created for astronauts and surgeries and stuff like that he was working on the project at the time. And although he didn't create the MRI, he helped create the coding for it. So he got to show us this video that they had presented, and I can't remember the guy's name who won the Nobel Peace Prize for creating the MRI with his assistance, but it was really cool to see the different growths and the different stages of the fetus, and to be able to see that technology grow, as well as what they were talking about or what he was talking about in the podcast on this TED Talk, was like perfect. It was really cool to see exactly what we were talking about in class and reading about come to life. It kind of opens up that discussion about how this kind of technology can be used in the classroom. So obviously right there, perfect example. I took the reading and everything that I was learning through the book and was able to apply it to real life with what was going on in this podcast. Some other things that that would be really good in the classroom is obviously all the search engines, being able to quickly pull up information pretty fast. I think helps also the classroom discussions. So if there's a question and you need proof or whatever that leads down, you'd be able to do that. I also think it really helps. It could help with like group projects. So you can collaborate and share and go back and forth on different parts of the project that you're wanting to do. I also remember when I was in school, we had this like radio and TV class, and it was so cool to work together on creating a project. And I was just thinking about some of the newer technologies that we have now on how that can make it even more fun and easier for kids to make that application into what they're studying, into real life or into real practice, to help it really stay in that long-term memory. Let's see. One of the other questions that we're to discuss is, I pretty much covered all of it. So just to summarize, the difference between PowerPoint and what's the one we just made the assignment on, Prezi or something like that. I have never used that before, so it was all new to me. So automatically I'm not a fan. But I grew up with PowerPoint's presentations and gave lots of those in class when I was younger. And as I've gotten older, this is actually the first time I've even used this, because I've used like the Google Slides is what I've used in the past. So this was a whole new thing for me to navigate. According to the ads that were on there, it sounds like there's some really cool things to do. But I just didn't know really where to start. So just wanted to kind of start somewhere. So I went ahead and used like a template, which PowerPoint also has templates. I was very thankful for this template though, because it helped guide it. I did like how it gave like little suggestions on the template on maybe some content you could put in based off of, whatever their research is on how to make their web application be the best that it can be. It didn't always work for what I was formatting, but PowerPoint is kind of the same way. They have slides, suggestions, places for you to put graphs, and you just kind of plug in your information. So I had that happening as well. So they're kind of comparable. I liked PowerPoint and how easy it just goes in order. I didn't get to, like, I didn't really mess around with, like, if you're presenting, like, is there notes and stuff like that that you can add on? I accidentally clicked on something and saw there might be something like that, so I thought that was kind of neat too. Um, but for me, it made me a little dizzy, I guess, like clicking and scrolling through the different slides. It's a cool presentation, but putting it together, it wasn't necessarily my favorite. Maybe with some practice and continuous work, it might work better for me. I didn't like that you had to subscribe to get different things for it, um, or like a monthly subscription. There's probably a yearly one too. I just did the free one, but I felt like it left out a lot more potential that it could do for students, especially if like a school can't afford it versus already having Google Slides and stuff like that where they just have access to everything instead of getting frustrated that they can't use something that they don't have. But yeah, that's my comparison.